Sorry for that clank there. What are we looking at here? Well, I have gotten a lot of requests for how to do multiple move lists, and I'm sorry I didn't like address that very well. So, we're gonna be doing that. Checking the levels here. Um, the title of this stream is like 0.5 reboot because I hope we're coming back to this in July. Let's just get that out there. But I want, and I mentioned this at the beginning of doing this series, that I'm going to learn a lot along the way, and there's going to be things I hate that could have been done better, and so we're going to address that. But there were some outstanding issues that I want you all to know how to do, and again, I'm real sorry. Like, I feel a little bad that I didn't. It was asked a lot, and I didn't get to it, so I'm sorry. That being how to do multiple move lists. There's some other things too, but we'll start with that. The other thing is how to sort of fancy up our editor. Right now, we're just using the inspector mostly, to do our stuff, and it's really unwieldy. So I want to show you how to give ourselves a nicer editor, like we did the move list editor here. I'm going to talk about I've actually addressed the shortcomings for this, but we're gonna show a better way. I've actually moved past this in my own game and gone back to an old implementation that I find way easier. But it's nice that we know both, I suppose. So why July? I wanted to address that. Working on a demo, my current project, trying to get done by July. I'm realizing now that we're like almost 2 weeks into May already, so I'm like, oops. I think I could still make it, but my sister is due to have a baby at the beginning of June as well. So it's gonna make me busier. And then I also am teaching a class. It's only 3 evenings at the beginning of July, but I need to make sure that's all squared away. And so having all that out of the way, and then I feel like then I can like focus on getting this started up again. There's some things I didn't like, besides the things I already mentioned. I wish I hadn't, in my head I had it so where we would have this character and sort of setup that could work in a lot of different types of games. But I think I would rather have a dedicated character action tutorial, have a dedicated sort of adventure action tutorial, fighting game tutorial, classic character action, or 3D platformer, what they're called now generally. But check the levels once more. Go ahead and get to it. If I don't see the chat this time, I'm sorry. This was like, I hadn't planned on doing this video today. I just got yet another request to do multiple move lists, and I'm sorry. So let's get to it. So what is our move list? Well, right now it's just, let's see, where did it go? I had it open. Excuse me. So it's in our core data and command states. So it is just a list of command states. So the easy thing we could do is just make a list of lists. So you could, what we're gonna do, we'll just do that, is make a new class and call it move list. And at first it's going to be real basic. It's just going to be a list of these command states, just like we had before. And if you've forgotten, command state is basically sort of a character state that's different than our normal states. Sort of like, basically for us, it's just grounded and aerial. One that I hadn't mentioned would be like swimming. That would be one that would like drastically change your move list. So that would be another state that you might want. But sorry, I like to ramble. We want. Sorry if you can hear people in the background. My family loves 90 Days. That's what they call it, and I don't know if it's 90 Day Fiance or which one it is, but they're going ham in there. Something crazy just happened, so sorry if you can hear them. but at least they're having fun. So command state. Go ahead and double click F12 to go to that. I also wanted to take the opportunity and just sort of work through it live. A lot of times I feel weird about having these long videos where I'm kind of like struggling through things, but I want to show folks that I want to expose the process a little bit to show that you can do it too, and to show how you can go about it. Like, not only is it that it's maybe not as mysterious as you think, and the more you learn about game dev, you learn that anyway, but to also just show how you can address things when you need to, or when you want to change this, and just to know that this is malleable, like this is your system too. And again, like in July when I do like a reboot, it's gonna be better. So let's make a public class move list. So there it is. Let's make her serializable. There she goes. And so, like I like to do with all my classes, is to give it a name. Boop. And then, like I mentioned, it's just going to be a public list of command states. And let's just call this command states. I'm sorry, allergies have been crazy this year. Like, I don't know why they got so much worse. Like, it's like I have allergies year round now, so. I've always kind of been like that, where it's like my nose runs when I eat. Like, I don't know, dudes. Sorry, just cleaning my nose here. I should have muted that. Yeah, real quick, just in case. Boop boop. No. There. Hopefully we're streaming. So now we have. I'm sorry about bumping. I've been like real clumsy lately. So basically, we have now classified, I don't know if that's like the right term, but you know, we've turned this into a list with this list into a new class that also has a name. So then we just want a list of those. Just call it move list. I don't remember where our global, sorry, I'm thinking ahead a little bit here. We'll get to it. We'll put it where we need. So we'll go ahead and save that. Go back into here. And oh, I thought I saved all. Control-Shift-S to save all. Oh my gosh, the tutorial's back. It's gonna be, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I've been through a lot in 2019, so like a lot. But welcome. And you know, now that I'm just like thinking about it and how I don't know, I just want it to be perfect. I want y'all to have just good info and a nice tutorial. But maybe just getting the info out there is better. I mean, this is more of my style anyway, with like everything I do. But I mean, with my games, I over polish some stuff. But anyway, where were we? So have that right here, move lists. So now we just need a way to look at it. So if we just go to our, you mad still? Oh, I thought I went back. Go to our core data. Boop. Let's actually for now get this over here. Boop. Now we have, do you see it? Move lists. Go ahead and make 2 of them. And we could do like file A, or you could call it, you know, file B. Do great sword and Odachi. That's like long sword. I'm just being fancy. Something like that, you know. Arm, whatever. That's just for you to know. And just like everything else, this can be like, as your game progresses, something more dynamic. This is just a way to set it up. So basically, I mean, you're basically there. It's not in here yet. We're going to do that. But just that answers like you can just go in your core data now and you can do that. Like if we wanted to, it would just be like grounded, aerial. But y'all, I want to show why this is obviously very clumsy and dumb. So we're gonna get to actually, the other main point of this video is to spruce up our editor. Honestly, this was something I wanted to do like right away, but it didn't. Completely understandable, just typed. I know, I updated it 2018. I know, it's funny. I know my friend was like, you still run Windows 7? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then I changed out my RAM, and like, because one of them died, and Windows was like, this is not an authentic Windows 7, and I'm like, dog, why do you care? Anyway, now I got a little excited. So we will start, even though we're going to redo this, let's get this implemented. So, if you don't recall, we have this chain editor window. And right now, it grabs each command step in core data command states, and goes through those. So we can, and we're going to run, like I mentioned, this is going to be bumpy. I hadn't planned on doing this video. We're going to be going through a lot of errors. Believe in the dream. So let's go ahead and grab, oops, I meant to copy it first. Move lists. And it's like, what move list? Well, move list current move list command states. So what's current move list? Well, we're going to make that a global editor. Excuse me, a global variable. Public int. Actually, it's hierarchically above those nerds. So public int current move list. So and save that. And let the errors roll in because of how we set up our chain editor, and it's just, we're gonna see. Maybe it's not that bad, but update me, mother. Click into that. What? That's not right. Did it not actually save? This is even worse because I don't know what it's doing. The restart or continuation. This is a continuation. I call it reboot 0.5. It's covering some things that I had wanted to cover, like initially, but or not initially, but by this point in this series. So we're just trying to do that. But then I will like reboot in like July, basically. There's some things I didn't like about it, and you can watch the video after. I don't know, log this down, but basically, there's a lot I didn't like, and I even mentioned how when I was first starting, there's gonna be a lot I'm gonna learn that I won't like, and short answers and stuff I don't like. So we're gonna redo it, and it'll be better. But I want to get these out there so we. What the hell is this? Heck is this? Not be capturing when there's a hot control. Excuse me. Okay. What do we have? For data, got 2 move lists. I'm like mad confused because like it's still showing this one. Am I wrong? Like what? Have a chain editor. And that's it, sis. Like what do you? Sorry, I'm gonna read through all this and see. Okay, sweet. Oh, so this is just current command state. Okay. But this is why this is going to be bumpy, but we're going to learn. Or maybe I could just go into like how I actually want to do it. I might do that because then we could work from there and then just drop them into here. Because well, part of the thing is like I want to undo. I don't like this anymore. Insert that meme where it's like we're not best friends anymore. You cross this girl out. So yeah, we'll just do that at least while I can think. It's like late for me, although I woke up really late. Um, I mean, I'm gonna have to redo this. This is just the nature of it. So, current command state. I mean, it says it right here. We gotta. Okay, it was less complicated than I thought. But then, like, why do we go through all these? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, maybe we should just. Yeah, cause look how complicated this is. This was like so much work for something that like we're not even gonna use anymore. But okay, so here's my problem. This is the dilemma. It's like some people might want to keep using that. So just bear with me. Okay, so core data by itself. So done this initially. Calling that so much. Y'all understand what I'm doing here? So I was calling it just like directly like from the base core data, but I should have had a local variable. It's gonna make it easier to like go through all that. So down here, you know, we already have it this way. What we want to do, data.command states. I'm gonna do this. All that works still. Some things around, it totally works. That's great. So now we can glance through here. Yeah, see how I have it here too, and it's like, what is? I mean, maybe that's partly why. Ugh. Ugh. This is why it's so embarrassing to like show your code to people. It's like, what were you thinking? And I'm like, I don't know. What were you thinking? So I would just stop dragging my feet and then we could just do this. So I've copied that, but then I highlighted this, so now we can find it more easily. Okay, so any of this. on GUI. Oh, so that's already in there, at least on this one. Are they all in here? Okay, no. So here's the other one where it's like a separate like window function you have to do, and it's like a pain. Okay. We're all learning together, so don't like look at me like that. Command state object. So this one like really index. What we should do. Rename. Yeah, all of them. Sorry if you hear that ringing too. It's like I have this new water bottle and it's metal. And it sings back at me whenever I raise my voice. So I put timestamps in the video to skip some of this. So what we're doing, right, is like we were referencing that like with this like straight up, I don't know the programming term, but it's like a reference in the inline. I don't know how you say it. But we should have been using a variable for this reason here. Oops, I highlight that. It's just gonna be slow, sorry. What did I do? You want to rip all this out whenever we see it. And again, this is just for folks who still want to use this. We're not really going to be using it. We're going to get away from it. This one we still need like that. How's your day going? Mine's alright. My friend woke me up at 9. So I stayed up late watching Better Call Saul. I was like, yeah, this show's really good. And I know everyone says that already, but I was like, I didn't think I had watched that many episodes. And it was like 1 a.m. And then my friend calls me in the morning at like 9 and it wakes me up. And they're like, hey, I'm just getting coffee. I was wondering if you just want to like have coffee and chat. They live in Portland. I live in Wyoming, if you didn't know. I was like, that's so sweet. And then like I was like, all right, I'm gonna get ready. And then like all of a sudden I'm still in bed. Like I didn't realize I gotten back into bed. But we still chatted. But then I fell asleep and woke up at like 1. So that's how I live my life right now. Quarantine hours. Yeah, if you're watching the stream or it's boring, we'll make a alert for when we get to the good stuff again. Was not expecting this. But again, this is like another reason why I just shouldn't have this. Like, this idea is cool, and I think it like can teach you some cool concepts. But I mean, honestly, this part is just like my past self's sins, so now we're paying for him. Doing okay. Some of these we're gonna have to fix up too. Save that. Just make sure it runs still. Just make sure that local reference still okay. Yay, that's good. The schedule has been destroyed too. Yeah. Okay, can't hear. That's good. So we want to do then is for this to actually reference our new move list class. Move list, move list equals for data dot move, excuse me, move list, current move list, we should call that index. Boop. And then when we reference this, actually be current move list. Is there a command? There a move list? A command states? Yeah, we've done it. Now, instead of this, we want to do it to each move list. Now we want to go through core data again. Click through. This part actually went way better than I thought. I thought this part was going to be like tons of gymnastics, but you can see it's like, there's not a current move list. And I'm like, excuse me. Current move list index. So you don't understand, like the current move list index is a global index that we can reference that, you know, indexes the list of move lists that we'll have. And then when you're using it on your character, you can use this global one, but this is like well, for sure you can't at runtime with this one because this is a editor index. But you may have done, like, you could set it up a different way so it's actually global for your game. Or, excuse me, it's a global editor variable. But that's not a problem. We'll just have one based on the character or the player, like whatever you want. Data. Something else. Step through. Do one last pass. Oh yeah, so this one actually. Can I have this up here? We'll get mad. Actually want to reference this first because we want, or make it for, what's the word when you make a variable? I don't know, initialize. No, that's not quite the word, but you know what I mean. Move this. Step through again. Nope, not that one. That's a actual. Okay. Good. That one we actually need a reference. Actually have that at the top here too. There it is. All right, save all. Pop back in here. Now it should get mad. Yay! So now it's referencing the one that we made earlier, like we called it grounded or whatever. Ooh, it's kind of mad. Not letting me click in there like in a nice way. I don't know why that is. That's not good. Normally it does something nicer than that. Like it makes like a text icon on your mouse, you know what I'm saying? A little weird. But that's working. So anyway, let's update this. Again, this is just for this old implementation, but we're going to use this same stuff to make our own new one and then snazzy up our editor for our scripts and stuff. I might have to lower my voice when it gets a little bit later. I have not been getting along with my sister. If you follow my Twitter. Plus she can kind of hear me now, so whoop. But you know, people have to work in the morning. It's not that late. But the drama is that she keeps me up and wakes me up plenty of times. And I can't laugh at Northern Lion at like 9:30 at night without getting yelled at. Like, come on. This is America. So what we want in our chain editor window is now we need a way to move through those move lists, right? So now we have our current move list. And we want to make some buttons and things to reference, to navigate those lists. So we want a, where is it? Dot name, please. Excuse me. What do we call it? What is it? Text field. There it is. Oh, state name. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This is what I'm looking for. Text field. Okay. So, current move list dot name equals GUI layout text field. That's current move list dot name. Save that. Now, if we just load this up, you'll see it'll have that one that we added. Oop, great sword. So, you can make a little bit. What am I doing wrong? Like, something's whack to cause this. Making me mad. Did I have it under? Still doing it. That's whack. It's ticking me off. I don't know why. So now we can change this, but we can't navigate to our other ones. So let's do that. So how we did it in this one I thought was cool with the states is have this toolbar. So we're just going to copy that. I think that's a really neat implementation. If you're going to have like a ton of move lists, then you might want something else because you're going to have like 50 little, you know, things here you might want. Just an index, or I mean, there's a million different ways. You can experiment with like, or you can do like a drop down, just with the different GUI layout stuff. And just to see what options there are. Sorry. We're gonna want this too. We're gonna do that for our actual move list. New move list. Move list dot add new move list. Simple enough, right? There it is. How do we have it set up over here? So we had this whole thing like this. I don't know why I separated it out. Maybe I had something in there before. Whoops, hit Control C. I'm actually gonna copy that. Name. No. What was that? That was the move list index. Then we're gonna want to I went to that. New public string. This is another shortcoming that I really need to know how the better way to do it is. Okay, move list names. What class is this in? Oh, we're in it. So move list.count. Excuse me. Save that. Back here. Move list names. The toolbar also needs like a collection of names, so that's kind of just one of the, I don't know. You could do this a different way where you could just click left and right, because this is slow. This is my issue that what I'm getting at is doing those static strings and like calling it all the time. You can refresh it. Like there's a better implementation, but the lazy way that I'm doing can be really slow. So actually. It's just a repeat because I deleted that before just so I could have all my ducks in a row here. Go ahead. I just do a blank label as like a little spacer. I didn't like how high up it was. And I may hate it after I do this, so we're gonna look. See. So they put a little spacer there. So great sword, unarmed. And it got mad when we loaded up a new one, so there's clearly a problem. This one was fine though. Oh, probably because I don't have any dates and stuff. See if we make a new one. So yeah, that made it very angry. Go ahead and just close this. Sometimes it works if we just reload it. It did not. So part of the issue. So let's go ahead and clean it up. So this is another thing you can do. Remember, you can always go into the actual object and use the inspector to debug things, which is what we're gonna do. So we're just gonna hit 2 on move lists here, and all of our problems went away. So down here, I clamp that index, which is something we're going to want to do for the move list index too. So it's the size of we're clamping it at 0 and the size of our list, which is our move list. So, and it seems like it just clamped itself for some reason over here, so whatever. So we can go to great sword unarmed. There's still an issue here because we didn't initialize this how we normally do, which is doing a new command state through this. Although that should, let's see, add command. No, that's different. Yeah, command state.add. It should just do it. Huh. Let's go ahead. Let's see what this does. Still mad. You still mad, bro? Supposed to be clamping. Gotten very upset, as you can see. I mean, it should clamp that. Sorry about this one. I really don't know. Another reason I just want to move on to the other thing. But we're almost done. If I can just get this way to initialize it, then we'll be all set. Like everything else is in the other videos. So. Can I? Fine. Oh, whoops, up here is what I wanted. So I'm just zeroing this out to see if it'll. Problem, my dude. We only have one in. Like, what is the problem? I don't know. It got all ticked off for some reason. These are working fine. So if we add a new move list, what gets mad? Fine, we're gonna clear this. So new move list. Move list names is mad. Is that it? Wrong. Yeah, vote from there. So GUI 50. 50. This one, it's loading the toolbar. I have an idea. I didn't think this should be it because I feel like we'll see. Ooh. No. Oh, whoops. Try that. So we'll just have some like initial variables. Really sure what the issue is right now. That worked. Must have been that. All right. I was zeroing this out. So something wasn't initialized already, and you could initialize it the other way. You can have a constructor. There's a lot of things you could do. Move list. Okay. So when we make a new move list, we should make a new command state 2. So again, that's like a reason why you'd want constructors. This is gonna be really, again, this is just to like appease anyone who might be using this still, but this is really like not a good system. Probably the reason. Oops, I keep clicking on that. Delete that again. New move list. Click on that move list. Still mad. Why are you mad? I don't even know where the error is from. Make a new move list. Go to it. See, it should be making a. Oh, we don't have a current move list yet. Y'all. Okay, we're just gonna do the same thing for that. Have some constructor stuff. Fine. Once you have this all set up, it's actually really nice. Just a lot of headache in the beginning, but having your own custom windows like editors and stuff is so nice. But again, this was kind of like part of the reason for this video, is to show me struggling through this, so get some tips on how to get through it yourself whenever that's happening. Okay. Constructor here. Make sure we add a command state there, and we already make a new list just by being made. We already have one here. Actually, I want to put the old one of these in there. I like how it looks, because it looks like debuggy, so it's like, change me. Please work. I was going to try and say something more like rational, but I'm just like, please. Okay, cool. That works. Create sword, color unarmed, something like that. The command. When we added the command, oh, there it goes. So that base command isn't coming up anymore, but I covered that in another video that you just need to add another one. All that stuff should work. So then in the actual game, we have to work on our character. So if we load it up, we run around, it's still working, but that's because we still have our old command state in our core data right here, which is what it's referencing. So let's find it. Excuse me, hiccup. Those references to see how to change that. Our character object, looking at that, we want to get it from our move list. So the drastic thing to do would be to delete this, and that's what I would do in my own game. You just delete this, and then you fix any errors with what needs to be done. So y'all are going to get crash coursed. Not used to everything compiling so fast. I really need to clean out my current game. command state does not exist. So this is in our core data. So what we want is, so here's where we run into some issues. Sure, we want move list, right? Now we need that global variable. So you can put it in your data, but it's going to be changing. So the easy way out, like I mentioned before, like in your core data, in your scriptable objects, you don't want those to change during game runtime, even just like during runtime, unless you're doing some sort of like data collection while you're like playtesting or some sort of like heuristic development. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you play the game and the character dies and you're measuring heuristics and statistics and stuff, and you're using that to update your actual data that controls like the balance of the game or other parameters of like the core game. So we need, you know, sort of a global one. So our global ones are here in our, where did it go? Game engine. Dude, my mouse has been whack lately. Game engine. Come back. Did it just go to the side and I didn't see it? We have our core data we can reference. We also want public static int global last public int. Did I name it? Oh, I forget what you call it. There's like a word for when you like make a fake static. Ooh. We'll just do that. We'll just make a static int, and then we'll reference it through the game engine here, which we've done in other things like. We'll see if that works. So, where are our errors? What was the first error we were working on? Was it this one? Yeah, get follow-up name, wasn't it? Undo. Yes. So move list 0. We want it to be engine dot. Do I have current game engine dot game engine? Is that it? Yes. So now we can actually just do. So it's like the static reference to itself, and then we can grab all the like non-static variables in there. But that still makes it global for us because the game engine is static and global. So we can reference that instead. I hope that makes sense. The problem is like get follow-up names is actually, that's not what we want for this one. This is what we want for our character, but we actually want a global variable for in our core data. So I take it back. Static int current move list, and then in here, get out of here, my dude. We're gonna have all these new errors. We want I take it back. We don't want that one to be static either, because we actually have a reference to our. Okay. So fix that. Save it all. Go back in. Do you have any in chat right now? Click on this. And here you're gonna see some like gymnastical looking referencing. And you could do like a more elegant thing where you like just do game engine dot current move list and it would just grab this, which would be better, but you know what? Fine. Public move list. Move list. And we return. What was in game engine? So ugh. This is the thing with like having like a core data and like game engine. It's just like ugh, it gets complicated. Anyway, you could do return core data dot move lists core data dot current move list index. And there you go. Do I need to save it? It was a game engine. Yeah, homie. See, y'all, it just gets so confusing. Oop. Save it all. Really? No errors there? That's what you're telling me? Even in our character object. Telling me there's no... What is happening when I do that? Am I double-clicking? I'm double-clicking by accident. Really? There's no error? That's what you're telling me? I don't believe you. Oh, I did it in character object. I thought it was in a different class. Wow. Wow. Well, good. Go ahead and load this up. And see that we can't do anything besides move. We don't have a move list. Did I hit the right button? See. Some of them should work. Looks like it's not. Oh, I have to actually make it do something. Boom, boom. So I'm mashing A. So let's do this. So I'm mashing A, right? And it's doing this chain attack here. You can believe me, I'm just looking over here. Or I say A, but it's X on the Xbox controller. We'll go to our move list editor here. We'll actually delete this. Now we just have this one attack. Then under unarmed, I know I'm going to call it unarmed, but we'll make it something else. The same one, it's just, no other motion input, just a button press. And we'll have it do that launcher. If we go in here, so it looks like we're actually on move list too. Oh, it's going to change because that's updating the global one. All right, so I'm just hitting X here, right? And then I go over to the move list editor, go over to unarmed, go back to game, and I'm hitting X again. See, I'm just mashing X. It's the same button over here, but we're doing this new move. Because in our move list, it's actually two different things, right? We have grounded first. And if you have some universal stuff, you could like auto-populate this. You all know that. When we're clicking over here, it's actually changing that sort of, that global variable. So, that about does it. I mean, not for the whole video, but for that part. You may want to like specify in here. So let's do that actually. Where? I always forget where that is. Like, always forget. Do a label, so it's just on GUI. You can put it per object, so it's like if you have it on an object, it'll just draw this stuff on the GUI. And it draws the screen space. New rect. Just do NF. NF. Let's put it over here. So like 100. And move list name the string. Yeah. Great sword. So 200 wasn't enough. 2, 4, 6. This looks so good. Oh, thanks. C++. Sorry. Don't know what you mean by that. I've never used C++. Well, that's a lie. I actually did that in high school, but I didn't learn much. It's not like I learned nothing, but... So we're just mashing A again. Or move list editor, go to unarmed, back into the game. So now we're in our unarmed move list where A button only does a launcher because that's the kind of moves you want. So there's just some stuff I hate about this. And that's why I want to redo it. We could make this a lot better. Just the different moves and stuff and just having it appeal. Like, I mean, she's pretty cool. All these different game types. Just, I think it muddied down some of the lessons. So that's why we're going to be. We probably won't redo everything. Like the camera one is still good. The input buffer, definitely. I get better and better at input buffer just like every day. And it's like, oh, this is a way better way we could do it like every day. So what we want to do is now be able to do this without our editor, right? We want to be able to switch our move list at runtime. So we can do it a few ways. We will do the very easy way first. Oops. We're going to go to our character object. Update input. We have update buffer. See the order of our operations here. So update input must have the input buffer getting updated. I guess. I can't tell. But right here is that, without actually having a script that does a movement. Well, no, the neutral has a script on it. That's why she can move still. Okay, never mind. But we're going to do this right here. So input LB. I'll get the button down. We're going to make a new one that's going to oh, see, it is. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So public void toggle move list. Toggle move list plus plus, and then global move list is greater than core data move list count -1 global move list equals 0 if global move list is less than 0. Global move list. This needs to be global move index. Sorry, it's not the actual reference. It's just an index. Equals core data move list count -1. So why do we do -1? Well, because the actual index reference is 0 based, but the count actually counts them. So if we have 1 in our index, let's say we have 1 move list, right? And we do move list.count, that's going to return 1. But the index is actually 0, and that's what we need. So that's why you subtract 1. There's that famous joke where it's like there's only 2 types of errors, like off by 1 errors, and it's like you find it. I can't explain it better than how I said it. Oh, when it iterated, it looks C++. Oh, fun. Thanks. Yeah, that is funny. Flash looks so good. Thanks. You can learn how to do it too. Watch my videos. Watching the videos. I hate to take ownership of certain things. I just find it weird. Like, it seems pretentious, even though it's like accurate. You know what I mean? Go to the character object. Oh, hit that LB. Go ahead and core data. Nope. Game engine. I swear, it was making me mad. Did game engine. Okay, there it is. Toggle move list. So now, and you could turn it into an actual state if we wanted. And I could show that too. But for now, do this. Walking around and something's mad. Don't have LB on there. Really? You ever say something that's like really, really cliche and it just cracks you up? Like saying really sometimes is really funny. This editor nonsense. What is this? I really don't have LB in there. Y'all are clowns. I don't remember what index it is. Oh, making me so mad. Oh. I could load up my other game. All right, 1 sec. But the other morning, I was like, I had my water bottle and tried to reuse my water bottle without washing it first. It's like because my mom, she's a huge fitness freak, but she hadn't like cleaned her water bottle in like I won't say the time. 'Cause it's like embarrassing. It's like less than a year, but it's still like a long time. But her lips were getting like really chapped, and it's like the doctor's like, "Yo, you got a dope ass like bacteria or a gross ass bacteria on your mouth because you never wash your water bottle." And I was like, "Ugh." Anyway, lesson learned. So I'm loading this up so I can know what the index is for left button, or excuse me, left bumper. Feel free to load anytime soon. Anyway, I had my water bottle and I I dump it in the plant in the morning because I don't want to like drink from it. And it's probably not that bad, but I'm going to wash it, whatever. But I like just the way I don't know what happened, but like all this water just shot out of my water bottle and it just splashed all over the wall, and I was like, oh my god. It was just like out of an 80s movie or something, but it was like genuine. My sister getting mad. Oh yeah, it's almost 10. I'm gonna have to keep my voice down. I'm sorry. Input LB is joystick button 4. Are you sure that's not what RB was? When you do a new one, it makes a copy, so hopefully that's just like all those other settings I don't have to mess with, because it should just be like RB. So we hit LB. Absolutely nothing is happening, but it's not mad anymore. Did I save it all? Close this. I know, it's so funny. The VSX mesh too. Just working anyway. Yeah, game dev's hard. I mean, one of the biggest things I really want to work on is just making it more suitable for living your life still. Just something I thought was okay to not do. Oh, it sounds like really unhealthy, and it is. But that's still working. Let me toggle it manually. It's not working at all. Might be set as an axis or something. Remember what I was talking about? Input stuff's so annoying. Once you have it all set up, it's fine, but it's just when little things like this happen. What's the deal? And I'm like, I don't know. Debug.log. Toggle me, mother. Really, I thought I was in the middle of talking about something I don't remember. Oh yeah, just making work. Game development more friendly to life. So it is running that, but the toggle isn't working. I mean, that's good. It's just like oh, I don't need one of these because we're only toggling one direction. Comment this out because I want it. Because that counts too, so we should get 0 and 1 still. Sorry about that. It's working, but it's not. What? Is that the right index? No, it's not. This means nothing to anyone. Where the hell are we getting our... Is it in core data? So it's getting current move list. It's doing core data that current, and I knew it. It's like when I made that, I'm like, that's not right. It's supposed to be this one. All right, sorry. Now, you just do it quick. Switch between those two. Boop, boop. Switch to greatsword. Now we're doing this move. You get the idea. That's how you do it. But then you have to set up a whole new like move list thing. It's getting late. I knew it. I wanted to. I mean, I'm not tired. Video's getting long. I don't know. It's like I'll just keep going. If the rest of this video is just like a train wreck, I'm sorry. Based on actions, so you can map to multiple controllers. Oh, the new Unity ones. Yeah, I tried updating to like the very newest one. There was like multiple problems. And I just didn't want to deal with it. Like the rendering thing was the main one. So at first, like I updated to like a not like a newer one. It's like 2019 maybe, like late 2018 one. And it was like the event data stuff got all messed up. But then it kind of like, so I didn't update. I went to like an older one. But then I was like, I'm not using that stuff anymore because I've totally revamped the game, less RPG ish. And so I went to, after that, and then I updated to like this newer one. But I tried to update to the newest one, but it's like you had to do all this like rendering crap. It's like all the rendering stuff's like brand new, and I'm like, oh my god, like I don't want to deal with that. Crazy. Not smart for that yet. Ugh. We still have B over here. I have two. Excellent. Oh, grounded. Must be an artifact because it shouldn't be doing that other attack. It's a little bit alarming. Made a bunch of new command states for some reason. So there's some bugs in here, obviously. But let's go ahead and move on. So what we want to do is really make it so we are not doing this anymore for our other things. We have the move list editor now, and we're actually gonna like scrap this to make it better to work with. Let's start with just our character states. So we want to make like a character state editor. So in our editor one, we have our chain editor. I'm actually going to duplicate this. We're going to call it character state editor. Having these, naming conventions help a lot. So calling it character state editor is good. And a lot of times I call it like window. I know it's like a long name, but it's a little more better. So let's go to window, remove list editor. Okay, my mistake. Excuse me. Yes. Delete everything else. character state editor. Back it up because I forget what the top of it's called. On GUI. Oh, we have this other one we can look at. Okay. Window. And here's where I like to start doing this. And here first. Got my project and console stuff over here, and I have my custom editor windows down here, and then there's exceptions where I'll have some over here. We have our move list editor down here, and then we're gonna do. Excuse me, where is it? Again. Oh, instead of calling it window. Okay, well. Let's keep it a window for now. It is a window, but you can do a custom one, like, you know, I have Citadel Deep up here, even though that's not the name of the game anymore. So character state editor. Now we have this, but it's just a blank window. It doesn't do anything yet. But we'll bring it down here. Now our custom one's down here. So let's get it going. On GUI. Boop. Cheat and see what our. There's some core things that we need to do like right away. We need private void. I think that matters. Sorry again if my voice is so low. I just universal render pipeline. Yeah, it's like it's really cool, but it's like I don't know what I'm doing. So it's based on actions. You can map to multiple. That's cool. I'd like to know how that works. Or you know, I can't wait to get to that. I guess is what I mean. So we need. I want to set this up first. So we need to reference our core data again. And we need to set it dirty whenever we do stuff on GUI. And that way it saves it. And we just do the same thing. We could make this like a global call, which we should do, but whatever. Just do it here. We have it out here, right? So if core data equals null, we search all of our assets, find it, load her up. And then at the end, we set it to dirty, so that way Unity actually saves it. Because it'll stay saved for a while, and then you like go and play the game, and it's like, oh, still saved, and then you make like some other change, and like all of a sudden it reverted back to like 10 minutes ago. Probably not 10 minutes, but a few minutes ago. So we need character state, current character state, and we need a int state index. Equals dot character states current state index, and layout. I hate saying GUI. I used to always say GUI. I tend to do that, like gamefaqs.com instead of GameFAQs, and it's like only nerds say that. Like only the nerds of nerds say that. Like, yeah, well, that's me. And we're gonna do current character state dot state name to sure something is showing up in that window. Load me, mother. So neutral, that's state 0. What I also like to do is to have like index.toString plus a little bit of formatty stuff. Save that. There's going to be a lot of like saving and going back, saving and going back. So state 0 is neutral. Now we need a way to sort of like navigate that. So here again is where like things can get ready. Because we want to be able to grab all of our states like with a drop down. That's like really, really handy. But once you start getting tons of states, then like that drop down, the built-in editor GUI drop down is like slow. Talked about it earlier. So you need to like update it at certain times. That's not all the time. That's not like constantly, or like you get tons of slowdown. So I'm just trying to think. My workaround, which I don't recommend, it's not horrible, but basically, and I might even go back, but currently, you know, I have my core data, but I also have like tons of objects for everything. So each like character state is a scriptable object. That way I can use like go to like game engine, and you have these object reference fields. They load crazy fast and you can search. So I use that, and so they all just sort of like float around in the in your project. And so it's like we click on here, and you can do certain object types. Like even though they're all scriptable objects, you can do of type, you know, core data of type, character state, things like that. And so this part of it is like really handy, but there's like other shortcomings of it. For now, because we already have it set up in a list, we're going to be using that list, but we're going to sort of have to see what works. One thing you can do that I did when I very first started is I had a separate window that was for selecting them. So that way I could like close that window. I could just bring up the window, find it. I mean, I guess we could do that. Like, you'd even make it so like you just like click on it, and it brings up a separate window that will update the list. Maybe that's the way to do it. That would be kind of cool. For now, we're not though. It's because I don't know how to. This video's running late, and I don't know how to like get there. And again, if the volume is horrible, sorry. Let me think. We need to do this current state index equals editor GUI layout dot pop up, which is like a great cool utility, but it's slow if you don't update these displayed options over here at intelligent times. I don't know a better way to say it. Current state. The index is current state index. And displayed options is core data get core data get date names. And you can do some layout options, like you can do it like with different types of like button sizes. Now I'm like mad that I closed my editor on my other one because it would be nice to show some examples. We'll just do this for now. So it's not going to be that slow at first. It'll bring this up. You know what I mean? You can already see how cool this is. So yeah, pretty dope. And if you like, you can just like hide this if you don't like that, and you can just rearrange how you have your things. Like if we want to do Lay. It just, I think it's just GUI layout. In horizontal, and then end horizontal. Bring that up. Whenever you're ready. Forgive me. So what it does is, like, by default, using these editor GUI layout versions of it, it'll lay it out in a certain way. And basically the default is like a page break each time. But if we do begin horizontal, then we can start putting things horizontal like that. Probably want to switch these around. You can even do it so the label is actually in here if you wanted. I'll show that too. So it's like, well, that's kind of like lousy, right? So instead, grab this. Just add it to that string. Just to make it see. So now, right here, its current state is index 3. The name is chain 1. And you may hate that too, you know, it's like kind of case. It's just some options for you. Or maybe you want just the index. Did that not change anything? I guess the label only has like a certain size. That's part of the issue there, I think. Like, we can make our label bigger, but it is like the default label with just doing this layout is a certain size. You can go in and change, like with here where you have the GUI layout options, you can do like layout width every time. Width 300. But that kind of, when you override these, it overrides some of the like niceness of the formatting, and so you'll get stuff like this, and it's like, why isn't this working? I don't know. But yeah, so that's there for you. I mean, we could just do it where it's like, let's do the index. That, and again, that label is kind of like not helping us. So happy with that. So you can take out the actual label, and then it's just this. You can change the width again. Get rid of the width, then it will. There's better videos for this, but I guess we're just here talking about it. So I don't know what I highlighted there. And it goes all the way across. And you may prefer that, but then you get things like this, or it's like grabbing it over here, and it's like, that's kind of weird. So it'd be nice to have the labels for that reason, like on a separate line. So even though we're doing the horizontal layout, you can kind of control the spacing a little bit better. You may want to just call this current state or something, or yeah, there's different things for you to try out. So now we want to actually start getting some of the fun stuff in there. So in our character state, our state name, we have the state flag, which is like if it's aerial or not. So we can go ahead and do these two real quick. So the go down, and maybe we'll do a new horizontal. So this will be like our flags. Just like simple flags. And so we want like current state dot aerial, excuse me. Does I know what it's called? What did I click on before? What the hey was I looking at? For real, what was I looking at? Is it really under character? No. Dudes, what was I looking at? I don't even know. Oh, I'm so confused. I mean, whatever. Like, it must have been like a state, because I think it's actually in the same. Yeah, so I was down in the events and stuff. Okay, my bad. So let's get all the way to the top. Our state name. So yeah, we have our length, whether to loop or not, and our blend rate. So let's actually get rid of those stuff. I don't know if we need it. Let's do blend rate. And that equals GUI layout float field. And you could do a range field, but it's like you kind of want to type that in, even though it's like a 0 to 1. Well, I guess it depends how you have it implemented. If it's not normalized, then it's not 0 to 1. But if it is normalized, then it is. What else did you? It has to have a label used. Why though, bro? Oh, come on, dude. Ooh, what is wrong with me? Oh, y'all, why do you follow me? There it is. We do want a label though. So if you're not understanding that, it's like we could do it where it's just the blend rate here, and it actually might populate it with something useful. Let's see. It might just be blank though. Yeah, it's just blank. I actually want to actually label that for ourselves. If you get like more advanced, we've talked about this before, you can actually like, I don't know if it's necessarily reflection, but you can look at like these floats, and depending on how you set it up, you're different. Like if you make this state a little more generic, you could just have parameters and things like that, and those parameters would have names already, which is what we did with our character state, or our character scripts. You're the only division. Oh, well, thank you. I'm your only option. I'm flattered. So blend rate's in there. So what's next? We have our length, whether to loop or not, and our blend rate. Go ahead and copy this. Let's see, is length float earn it? Oh. And then we will also do, what was that other one? Loop. Loop. We're going to do a toggle. And toggles are kind of like weird looking. And the order's like different. It's like if we do just this, I'm going to show you. Blend rate. So we had that horizontal. So the toggles are just like this check mark. We do like and it's not bad. And so these are all kind of animation variables. It's kind of why I put them on the same line. This is whether or not to like the loop, even though it loops the state too, it provides info for the animator. Excuse me, the blend rate is how fast we crossfade our animations into a new state. into this current state rather. And then the length, of course, is just the length of this attack. One, you can see how those all update. This is kind of lousy, right? It's like, it's kind of cool, but it's like cooler ways to do that. So what's really cool about Unity, you can invoke these like editor styles. And I like to do like mini button. Go ahead and do that. All of a sudden, we have that, which is not right. Just button then. I didn't think it was toolbar button. I use mini button usually. So you can like do that, but it's normally it's like in there. Okay, there's a problem. I gotta find out why. Sorry. That's not how I'm in it. I know, I'm just teasing. It's anticlimactic for one of my favorite things. Project, win action editor. Other styles that mini button. Why isn't it working then? Is it because I have the order different? What? UI layout. Which one did we do for this? That's why. And that's why I had it in my head that these orders are different. So I actually use sort of a different. And usually for toggles, I like to do question mark, like loop. Save that. Now we have a cool button that we can click instead. That's super rad. Like I love that. It's just really easy to see. It's just a little more intuitive. So that's really cool. We don't want that to loop, so we'll keep it that way. Close this. We'll probably keep open the Unity thing, just in case we need to see the some other examples. Go to our character state. So then, we have jump requirements, meter requirements, dash cooldown, grounded, stuff like that. Grounded is one that we probably want right away. Meter requirements. Oh yeah. Go ahead and do. Yeah, so for sure the grounded one. We'll do that. So we're going to copy that. And it's sort of like a new sort of element. We're getting to more like the state attributes rather than animation attributes. Let's see. Grounded? Question mark? So now this is going to be down here. And it goes all the way across. So we can set. I don't know. 75, I think, is probably about how big that is. So yeah, then it's over here, grounded or not. Character states. So now let's really get into the intense stuff. So now we have our state events, and that's a list. What we need to do now, flags, and actually it was like animations. Like flags. Now we have our events, exclamation point, because they're really cool. We're gonna just do a for loop. I'm gonna do E for event. Is less than current character state events count E plus plus. Go ahead and look at our events to see what kind of stuff is in there. We have the start, the end, and then just sort of a variable. Then we have a script as well. So the main thing we're going to want is like start, end, and script. We have state event. Oh, event's like a thing. Current event, because it's like funny. Equals character state dot events E, and then we do let me think. We will do an event script equals editor layout dot pop up current event dot script. And this we've done before, but we haven't put it in an actual like custom editor like this. So this is going to get real cool in my opinion. Let's core data. It script names. Do that, and it's probably not going to show us much yet. Oh, looks like we do have some scripts in there. Okay. So, we have 2 instances of front velocity. We have a stick move one. This is velocity Y. Why did it copy all this over? It's a little bit strange. What? That's a little bit strange. Sorry, I don't know what else to say. Because I didn't make those. And the oh no, that's right. I did make them. The thing I deleted was just like I forget what I even called them. But they weren't actually character states. They were just like steps in a chain. Never mind. So good, we're right where we need to be. Well, that's a double bonus for us because we can just work on that stuff. So you can see some problems right away, right? And this is just UI problems. I'm actually going to delete this or close this because I'll just run it again if we need to. This isn't very clear, right? Let's start with a label. You just gotta get used to which ones are which. I do that for like a break here, and now we have our events. And you can actually make this a fold out, which you'll see a lot. So now what we want to do is cool event fold. So now, even fancier, if event fold, we show this. And event fold equals fold out. And event fold. Event fold 5. Am I right? It's not that funny, is it? We'll call it events. So now, and you'll start to, this will look familiar. There are events here. If we click that down, it drops them down. That looks surprisingly similar to stuff like this. You can click these down and they pop out. It's the same implementation. They have something little special that like sort of indents everything, which we're gonna have to do, but manually. I think there's a better way to do it, but I don't know what it is. So drop that down, but then all of our events can show up. So let's make this clear. Firstly, I would like a break there too. I like to have an index to just sort of put me in the right spot. So let's go ahead and drop that down. So now there's a space between them, which is nice. And what I like to do also is in that horizontal, I like to do a label of the current index of the loop, which is accessing an index of our states. So same thing, I like to do a spaced out colon. I think it looks nice. Events. Like 25, I think. I think 35 might actually be a little bit better one. I think that's one I'm used to using, but that looks pretty good. All the events in here. So each event has some, more complicated stuff. So let's actually look at. It was start and an end, and I couldn't remember if it was like how we'd set up, if it was 0 to 1, if it was normalized or not for our state size, or our state length, excuse me. I'm gonna sleep. Thanks, I hope so too. Remote schooling, I know. Nuts, COVID hours. How long have we been streaming? Really? I thought it was like 3 hours. I started at 8. Oh, that's good. So that one's really important. So let's go ahead and in there. So I usually like to have that like on the same line. So what I like to do is they have this like range slider thing. It can be kind of finicky, but it is nice. It's like, I'll show you. So current event dot start equals. I might, oh my god, I'm gonna need to load up my other thing again. I forget what it's even called. It's a slider, but it's like a double slider. Cool. Is it just slider? Y'all, I'm sorry. Really didn't think I'd need it. Third time's a charm, baby. start. So it's a min-max slider. And just copy that. So this uses actual like references like in the method. Couldn't think of the word. So that's what the ref keyword there is for reference. So this is sort of so we can do it like this. Probably do it this way. Let's see how this works. I had to do some like trickery, but it should be fine. So does that make sense? What's happening here? What I like to do also is give us some more width. Those longer states, you can't get the fidelity you might need. This might be, but excuse me. Did I change it in the wrong one? Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. This in. Label. I'm gonna do is current event not start to string plus I like to do a little tilde. I don't know how to say it. And width. I'm gonna make it pretty small. Let's do 50. I don't know if that's gonna be big enough. We'll do 75. We'll see. And this isn't gonna look quite good yet. We're gonna round these, and we're actually gonna round it to like, you'll see. We're gonna round. It's gonna do. It's gonna make this wider. So now we have a better understanding of like what this is, right? So from 0 to 1, we do front velocity. On frame 10, we do front velocity. From 0 to 10, we do stick move. So from, if you remember from the previous tutorials, why didn't I do this like in the original one? Like this looks so good, and it's like it explains like a ton of stuff. I'm sorry I didn't. And velocity y, or why that's on there, from 0 to 40. And then a global prefab on frame 8. And that global prefab is, that slash effect. So we're still missing some data like for each event because we're going to have like a lot of different parameters. And we may want to make these dynamic based on the script, which it starts to get a little more complicated, but it helps a lot. So let's go ahead and show this and show how we can like do this at runtime and how like awesome it is. So right now we have that front velocity, for the first couple of frames. And that's that very first like step through, right? So just to illustrate it, all the way to there, it must be really minor. Let's actually we'll just do this. There we go. See how she like kept sliding? So now that event actually happens throughout the entire event. That script happens through the entire event, excuse me. So this is the script. Each event is basically just a script. That could be kind of the same thing, but there's some differences, and yeah, I'm sure you understand the difference. I'm here. So that's really cool. You just do it at runtime. And so what I like to do is sort of snap it to frames. Basically just round it to ints. How we did it. They might just be ints. Oh, they're floats. Got the wrong one again. Yeah, so I did a little bit different. And this one actually normalized the start and stop and then multiplied it by the length and then rounded it. Can I just mouth f dot round? Let's see. F dot round. That's not gonna. This isn't the best way. Visually, it'll look nice, but that's just the visualization. Not actually the. So I mean, it looks nice, but we're actually. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. You know what? That works fine because we already know, like, if we're like pulling it in between and we're not actually past 3 or whatever. Because that's how the script actually works. So that's fine. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's leave that for now. So now let's actually get into more of what these scripts do. Go ahead and do this on a new line. Layout, again horizontal, and horizontal. We have our state event. It's a start and an end, and it has a variable. Remember if we even use the base variable too much anymore. So we had parameters too. Huh. We'll see. I guess we'll just work through it. Because, well, like, let's see. For data, character scripts, drop velocity, right. See, that one doesn't even have a parameter. We're just using the default one, which I don't like. So what we want to do really is delete this variable right here. Because we have this new thing that's like parameters. I don't want to like fudge up everything. I don't want to have to like. But I mean, we might as well, right? If we do that, then we won't have variable anymore. Then it starts to get tricky because like for each of one of these scripts, you're just gonna have to know like what you're passing, what you need to pass. I mean, you're already doing that because you're just like running a different script or running a different method each time. And I feel like we should. I mean, the right thing to do is to do it. Just don't know how crazy this is gonna make everything. Oh well, here we go. Let's jump in. Now a million errors again. Come back in here. Really, we should just pass the event. Let's see. We're gonna have to think about it. My sister getting me. Keep it down, please. I'm like whispering. Honestly, I want to type back no. Sorry, I can't. King. Let me think. She's also salty at me. She got really pissed at me today. Here's where it just gets kind of gross. We're just gonna do this even if it's bad. Maybe. Did I call it? Script parameter. Good for me. That is actually more apt. Delete this. These are gonna start to get crazy. So for a lot of these, it's just parameter 0. We're passing all this other stuff anyway. I don't know. We'll get there. We were passing that. Whatever. Oh man. You pass a. It probably doesn't matter, but. That works. This is going to break a lot of our events. Going to break a lot of our states that we've made because we just deleted that whole variable. I'm also amused. If we were smarter, like if let's say you had a huge game, you would want to go through your data and update it. So you would grab that variable and make it parameter 0. If I had thought about it, we could have done it and it wouldn't have taken that long. So forgive me. So. Whoopsies. Have that. So we're gonna see that. So a lot of our events are like a lot of our states actually don't have the parameters initialized. We have some fixing to do. I'm trying to think. Approach it. I mean, really, what we want to do is do this for a character script editor. I'm like really salty at my sister. But yeah, I just feel shitty that it's like so quiet now. Normally I would keep going. Despite her being shitty at me, I just hard to be mean back. It's like I want to be quiet. Wow, this is going on YouTube.com. And I've been swearing a bunch. I'm trying not to swear on YouTube, but just thinking. So this is so sketchy. I'm just gonna make it fail safe. So, but that stick move isn't working. So for the time being, and the value doesn't matter. We actually don't use that until we're over here. So I'm gonna think how we want this set up. So we probably want a new line for each one. I don't know if we want that. P equals 0 less than root plus. Should we just do float field? I'm like, here it is. So here's where all that setup comes to pay off. Like, I mean, you know, when I first started the tutorial series. Now, as you can see under global prefab, we actually have names and stuff for everything. Or we have like all those functions, huh? Are really that many parameters for one? Do I really not have? Y'all see my mistake? We actually don't want the name from here. What we want is the actual script name. Script instance, excuse me. Does that all make sense? You can see that in our current events, we could actually probably make our, for our actual event parameters, we don't need to use script parameters. We could just do float. We could just, because we don't need to know the name. The name belongs to the script itself. Now, again, all that stuff we talked about comes to fruition. You might see that you don't like that layout, which I don't. Again. $150 maybe. You'll have to adjust this for your own game. $150 too much, sis? That seems real small. 50. And if you really wanted, you could measure the size of this, of the label, of like the name, and you can adjust the size of it. Or you can do it all vertically, like you can get rid of this. So you can see it's all going like down below, but we can't see it. So in this window, do let's just go back to 2. Scroll view. And you can do it at like the top here for all of it, or you can start it later and like the stuff up here can stay and you'll only scroll like when you're in your events. This is for my game. Just something to keep in mind, but we'll go ahead and do it for everything. So view equals begin scroll view. Then at the bottom, nice try, buddy. You do is you put a vector 2. Guess you have to pass it too. Cool. So you'll need a vector 2 to reference, and then you do begin and end scroll view, and you can have multiple, like if you have multiple, you know, little areas you want. Now let's scroll and see it all. And we may want to like indent this. If Bring this back. You can see we can go left to right now. See, that's very unwieldy. So maybe what to do a mix of those two. That's kind of bad though. We would want to like indent this over here or something. You'd have to figure it out for your own game what you find like useful. But now we can actually see like what some of these are. And we have this matter. Nothing's working. Toggle me mother, still have that in there. Some of these I know why they're not working, but I'm not working. Let's see if this works. Sorry, I'm working on something else real quick. 1 at 0? That just seemed wrong for some reason. So that means like every 3 parameter. And you might need to like set that up like in your script, like if how to like space these out if you need like a certain way to do it. Push all those over. Not exactly what I want to happen here too. Will it happen on the first one? This is mostly layout stuff. I don't know how. Yeah, it doesn't happen. I was worried it wouldn't happen on the first one for some reason, but it did, so that's good. And the problem with this, when you start doing these numbers, it kind of like, when you go like this, it kind of doesn't slide over, you know what I mean? But it can look really nice if your windows stay like a consistent size. stick move should have parameter, but it's not showing up, and I don't remember how that gets set up. References. You have to be kidding me. That's not right at all. Oh, wrong one. This one. What? Not right. Time to get crazy. I hear some snoring. Hopefully they're both asleep. Current event.parameters is not equal to so we make a new list, and then each one of those parameters, we go ahead and add a new one. This won't be a problem if you're like making new events. But if you have like an old project where we were doing it through the core data, you're gonna have to go into each event and just let it update by looking at it like this. Now that all updated, and then you can see like some more shortcomings where the rate is like, you know what I mean, some formatting stuff. So I think there's some like right alignment things you can maybe have. And go to neutral one with these updates. So stick move is set to 0. Can't remember what we had it at. That's 0.1. That's pretty fast, but I kind of like it. F speed's kind of lousy. 7.5 is pretty good. It's a little fast still, but it's nice. Oh, so can cancel. Apparently that needed to be in there. So let's go ahead and fix that. I already know the problem for that. Because some of our things don't need a parameter. One way to get around that is just give it a parameter. The problem is that we had this dumb failsafe right here. So there aren't parameters, it's just like bouncing. And find it. Call it bool or like whatever. Matter. Over here. And so you can actually do that. And here's where things can get like more crazy with your script. So instead of having just floats, you can have multiple types that can change, and you can like initialize them. Like for the script, it needs bools, but you can just pass floats as bools. Now we can cancel. Now we get some weirdness here. Why? One. Drop velocity needs. Boop. Might be a lot. Why? Power rate. I don't know why that's getting called. Oh, I do. So we need a new parameter for global prefab. This index is actually supposed to be something else. We actually want a new parameter for that, because we're already using all these ones for that. So that zeroed all those out for some reason, which is kind of a huge bummer. Don't know why that happened. Really weird. Why would you do that? Oh, I know why. Because I took the easy way out. Here, where if it doesn't match or it doesn't have any parameters, then it just destroys the current parameters and makes some new ones. The better way would be to add or subtract. That way any old data wouldn't get destroyed. But it shouldn't be too bad. Actually, I think it's 1.1. I think the Z was out by 2. It does not seem right. But hey, bro. Show why it's passing that. I didn't change it. My bad. I actually need to change it to 11 or 12. Oh gosh, on it. 11, 10. So here's where it can get kind of wacky, where you just have to know. It's not very generic. It's like go in and script it like how you want it. Here we go. Oh, ran into a bug that I don't understand. Oh, because we're still using those follow-ups that exist somewhere. I don't even know where they exist. I need to finish. Oh, I know what it was. These don't have the new. So when you make changes like this, you want to like make little utilities that run through all your scripts and like update it if need be. And I guess I could show that. I mean, it would have been cooler if I did the other one where we copied over our old data and stuff. But well, the problem was that this didn't have its stuff initialized yet because of our update. Negative 45. 3, 4, 3. I don't know. Way too big. Our velocity's all flipped up because we that. I don't know why that's working. Again, to fix it all, you would just want to go through all your states here and let the editor window fix. Or you could run a script that just went through them all. It'd be easy. If you need help with that, let me know. If you've actually made like a huge game with this so far. All of our script values got zeroed out, so she's not jumping and stuff anymore. And actually, if you made like a new, you might want some default values, especially for scale, like with this one. See how the scale is set to 0? Like you definitely want these to be default to 1. When we actually do that attack, it shows up. And speed, you want to set to 1 as well, so that doesn't happen. You have to go in and readjust all these, but something for another day, really. Yeah, you can figure that out yourself. What? Doesn't make sense. Is it really why? Like I said, I wasn't going to do it, and then I did it. No, bro. Whatever. Jump, we want one too. Oh, it's way too strong. Ouch. Y'all getting the idea though. Again, super sorry for the low volume. We covered a lot more than I thought we would. I feel like it was in the middle of something we were gonna do, but basically covers it. There's some little problems. You'll get a lot of them can be fixed by just going through all these again. Same thing for the okay, I'll just say this. Thank y'all for watching. I love y'all very much. What I'm going to do from this point on in the video is just redo this for the character script editor. It's going to be real simple, but it'll be nice to be able to just switch back and forth instead of grabbing the core data, and just to show you once more like how to set that up. Editor window. Duplicate that. Editor window. If there was something that I was gonna do and then I didn't, let me know. So now we have this all. I want this. It's going to be a lot more simple, but it's still going to be nice. Back in there. Seems okay. Window, character script editor. Bringing up that again. I did something wrong. There, character script editor window. Bring that up, go that down. So we will go ahead and do script. This. Oops. Up. Oh, that's what I wanted to show. I'm going to show it here and then I'll show it for the other one. There's like some major things we haven't done yet that really needs to be shown. So that's pretty dope, right? Now we can actually go through and maybe we don't like rate and like call it power or whatever, and we can have some defaults. We don't actually have it set to default yet, but we could set that up later. So you might be thinking, well, I need more than one parameter. I need more than 0 parameters. So it's it has no parameters. So we really got to do that too. Have to add and delete. So what I like to do if I like to just do a plus sign, or you can do other stuff like new parameter. Just whatever you like. I also like to do you're not supposed to do this. Oops. Remove that. There's a better way you're supposed to do it. It's like, we'll do it. We'll do the right thing. I just do it inline. It's like you're not supposed to do it. You're not supposed to like change your And it makes sense. It's like a common like coding thing to do. Is like you don't want to change the size of your array while you're iterating through it. So let's do int delete me delete param equals -1. And hopefully this works. I've actually never done this. And then -1. Let's see how this all shakes out, shall we? Now this big plus sign, which change. So we can go ahead and add one, add another one, add another one. And so where the delete is kind of annoying. We may want that first. We may want it to like the side of one of these, like after the name. We could do. Sorry if anyone's in the chat and I haven't checked. No-net test. I don't know what that means. Sorry. And sorry, I have to be quiet because the family's just sleeping. Here after the name. And you can set this up however you think looks nice. It's nice just to have it off to the side there. You'd have to. Let's see what I have going on in mind. Usually put it on the side here. I mean, here's like some enable flags that you can have. Then I have the X here for deleting it. I have the sliders here. And like I mentioned, I use separate scriptable objects for each of my scripts and like character states and things like that because I found it easier to use this instead of the pop-up. But the pop-up has its advantages too. That's why like I show it. Make sure the deleting works. Here, let's actually add a few. Call this one value X, value Y, and value Z. Just to show if we delete the Y, it's actually the actual Y, so X and Z remain. The problem is in here when you, we're doing these scripts, you know, we're passing strict indexes to the parameters. So you may want to write a script that like looks at the script name and grabs that value. Or you're just gonna have to update all this whenever you change those, which isn't a huge deal, honestly. Usually you're gonna be setting up this and then actually scripting it or, you know, coding it in here in the code, and then you know, make any adjustments along the way. So just something to keep in mind. So we're going to need this for everything in here as well. So that seemed to work, that little way of doing it. I think that's how you're supposed to do it, where you you know, you have the button in there and then you grab that index. And if that index is a -1, then you go ahead and delete it. I don't want to do that for our events here. Have it before or after? I'm just curious. Have it before. That's what I thought, but what did I do? 25 or was it 30? That one we're out of the loop. Oops. Actually kept me in check because I couldn't actually use the index. Kind of neat. We have a little X option over here. Did I do 30 or 25? 25. That still seems. That's fine though. Now on this launcher thing, we can get this front velocity if we wanted. I don't actually want to, but to show it. And all that stuff stays the same because it's a list. That's what's nice about having lists. You can like remove and things just stay nice together. See how that looks. So in mine, I might do mini button. I think so. It looks nicer. Go ahead. Oh, come on. You have to have that first, I guess. So now it's shaped a little bit different. I think that looks nicer. Capital X looks better with that style. Yeah, that looks cool. So then same thing, we're going to want a way to add events. Sometimes you'll want it like at the top, sometimes you'll want the bottom, sometimes you'll want both. Every time. Oops. Go ahead and put it on both sides here. plus sign there, plus sign there. It's just a way to add. It just can be kind of nice. If you find that confusing, you can just get rid of it. It can just be nice sometimes to have it on both sides, but for now, I think it's just gonna have it on the bottom works. Another page break. Feet are getting really cold. Nice. And so for our launcher there, so it got mad. When we add a event, constructor, thinking this should just be floats. We can change that. This really should just be floats. We don't really need the parameter itself. Look at this. It actually added it. Added, yeah. So that was the problem. It actually fixed itself, but it wasn't good. Delete those. We don't like them. I will show you this because it's really handy. Is that okay? Let's do disable. So that way the default is false. That's why I use the different terminology. I didn't see it on there. I don't usually put a label on that because I think it's sort of self-evident that this turns it off or not. Smaller. Space out better. And we actually have to go script that. So. Well, then that doesn't make sense for us, right? So, oops. By default, we want that to be enabled. We'll go ahead and do that. And to show you that little tool thing that I was talking about, like we need to run little fixes for all your scripts. I had to do that. Right now, these actually don't do anything. We're gonna do, really? Did I not fix that? Oh, I didn't do it on that one. So first we're gonna do if Now if we run it, what? Oh, because it's a new variable. If it's a new field, that seems weird though. We usually do it like this. And actually I should have done that. But set them as active anyway by default. I don't know why. I guess it ran the constructor. That's weird. I didn't think it did that. Oh well, that's nice. So disable it, and now it doesn't work. Let me click in. So that's a nice debug thing if you're doing like A/B tests and just in general. Like, I mean, it's just really helpful. So now, so we can add events, but we still can't add a new script. So we need to get a little tricky. And we did it. Our move list editor. Or you can just have a button. Just like with our character scripts, it's like, how do we make a new one? One way to do it is like with this drop down, you have a final option that's like add or delete. But sometimes it's nice to just do add over here. So we'll do that. After that pop-up, you just have that over there. States add new character state. Simple as that. But you should also do it so current character state equals state index, excuse me. This order. I mean, a frame later it's going to update anyway, and it probably wouldn't be noticeable, but. So, because our system is indexed based, this is another shortcoming. If you've ever used like RPG Maker, you have all your like spells and items and they're held in this big list. Can't necessarily like delete things. And this is true with a lot of databases, like even like Get My Work. Deleting stuff is like a big pain in the butt for data. So generally you just want to like do something like change the name to like, why do you even put a name field in here? We'll do that in a sec. Like delete me or change me, because everything is indexed based. So let's say we did like we did with the states where we delete like in the middle of it, and everything that was like referencing a certain, state by an index would get fudged up. Like if our, B button was like the 5th state in the list, and we delete like the 3rd state, then it would actually be the 4th state, but the reference would still be 5. So you hit B and you would actually get like what was next down on the list, which wasn't what you wanted. So if you need a debug, like go in your core data. Again, this is like a way to debug if you ever need to, just go into the object. But generally you want to just change it to like delete me or something like that. And make a new state. Made a new state, but it doesn't have a name because I fudged up. Where would we want that? Just above. Label first, I knew that. Call this chain 7, why not? This is getting pushed over. That stays. Cool move. I thought 200 would be bigger. Whatever I did. 300. Really, you could give it all the room in the world if you wanted. Yeah, we can start adding events to that. I didn't really get it to like the move list part. You could look back at the old videos. But I'm getting tired and I'm very cold and it is midnight here. Not you use a dictionary. You could. Dictionaries are something that are new to me. I know they're like old and like commonplace, but it's like I think you could. I think using dictionaries is actually gonna teach me a lot. And when I reboot the series here, I'm going to explore that. So yeah, definitely we could. New cool move. Cool new move. So same thing, like I have this one named Change Me. That's why we need these indexes. This is like even more important because it's all like tied to the code and stuff. We need them to stay the same. We will do the same thing for scripts. We want. Yeah, right after that. Oh yeah, I'm getting tired. Come on. So do the same thing. Character script. It has a problem. Initiate a new script. Let's see. Yep, so I fixed it. Make a new one. So I made a new one. Over here, let's do like use me or replace me. Actual new one. Add a parameter. X. We'll say like side velocity is one I hadn't done yet. And so I can actually show how this all works, but like going through it, I won't totally do it because I'm tired. We would want to, we really want the indexes on here. Because it's so important, well, I guess we could still just pop it up there. I want to call it script index to be really clear about it because it's important. Script index 10. So if we wanted to go in, do event, make sure it's case 10. You know, side velocity. Look at me doing what I said I wouldn't. Does work? It's just a script vector 3. So it should work. How front velocity works. Character.transform.forward. Okay. In my other game, I have some other like little gymnastics that I do, but honestly, I should just copy that. The reason is because we don't want to mess with the Y. Oh, it's right. This could be handy for a lot of reasons. I use it a lot, actually. Certain moves, you kind of want the character to sway and things like that. Oh, looky there, we actually made a new script. Let's go ahead and use it during runtime. Our regular chain here. Character state. No, not cool new move. Cool old move. Add a new event. Do it throughout the whole thing just to show it. Side velocity. 0.1. Let's do like 1. That wasn't quite right. Sure, why that was so crazy. That's not what we want. Huh. I'm like really, really surprised that didn't work. Velocity works. Let's set it to 0. Is it like totally bugging? Oh. Causing us problems. I'm gonna cheat a little. What? I think I did that like way weird, and I don't know why it works for the other one. Is she moving? That's not quite right though. He's spinning pretty good. Let's try this. Same thing, huh? That's not right. It's a little weird. Huh. I really don't have an answer. I'm sorry. It's too late for me to like. Normally that works. How do I do it in this one? Yeah, I mean, I just add it. I really don't know. Sorry. She shouldn't be spinning. A little weird. And that one's not additive. Huh. Part of it's because these are like overriding each other. I don't know. That's something we can do another day when we get to it. But that about covers it. We actually did a lot today. I'm kind of proud. Sorry it took so long. We will be returning to this tutorial, like new and improved. Who knows? Maybe I'll just stick with this, but there's a lot we need to get to. Or maybe I'll just touch up what this is. Because really it's like the input buffer. Anyway, what we need to do is like work more on like the targeting. We have this like lousy targeting like this. But like working with the camera and then enemy behaviors, I really wanted to get to that soon. And honestly, like that would be it. That would be it. But just doing a better job of all of those videos would be really great. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry about your old computer, the RPG Maker. Support's been great, like really, really great lately. So thank y'all so much. You can support me at patreon.com/cultureattack. Follow me at Twitter at cultureattack. Please ask me with any game dev questions. You can ask on the YouTube videos. These always get uploaded to YouTube. The streaming part's nice, but mainly it's just a way to record the videos. Yeah. Game development, super fun. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm sorry getting to this particular one took so long. Yeah, that's what else I wanted to do. I wanted to get rid of this, update this move list editor. Who knows, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, this girl's getting real tired, so I gotta go to bed. Love y'all very much. Take care.